Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blast to the Past podcast, Chillcast. I am Chris.
I'm Olivia.
This is Rick.
Yo, what's up? So how's everybody been lately? Before we start and get into the topic.
I've been good. But you, Rick?
Let's see. What is new in my life? Not too much. Still, working and, getting through God of War finally. That's pretty fun.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's nice. And that's about it.
I hate to out you, but didn't you just get gold recently in Street
Oh,
Fighter?
that's right. Yeah, I sure did. Got to gold rank with good old Yoga Master Dhalsim.
Isn't that kind of odd in Street Fighter, though?
What?
For Dhalsim, isn't he like one of those odd people in...
He's not a super popular character, but like one of the pluses of that is that not a lot of people know how to fight him, so I feel like I kind of have an easy time getting gold. It's like we were like, what? He throws a fireball. What do I do? It's like his punch went across the screen. This guy's a cheater. So
You would think for how long Dhalsim's been in the game, though, you would look like. I feel like he's one of those characters you should know.
it's like, well, I mean, Dhalsim's only been around for what, like almost 30 years now. He's been around for
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. I mean.
This is super random, but I'd love to see Dhalsim and Waluigi play a tennis match. Because they both stretch in incomprehensible ways. It would go on for days. It would be a real spectacle.
Next smash.
Next
Dhalsim
smash,
Yes.
and Waluigi, yeah.
Yes.
So, a brief update with me and Olivia. Our adventure of California has been interesting because we've been going to weirder food places, and we just recently checked out what Chick-fil-A was.
We went to Chick-fil-A for the first time, and that was exciting.
Was it an experience?
It was a weird experience because, like, for some reason, we've never dealt with restaurants that have giant lines where there's people outside of them, right? Mm-hmm. And Chick-fil-A is one of them, where we always see these long lines. We're like, what is this even? Like In-N-Out,
Mm-hmm.
That's still...
So, we finally tried it. I thought it was pretty good.
It was pretty good, but holy crap, I've never seen a whiter restaurant.
I know, right? Like, me and Olivia went in there, and this guy's like, hello, sir. I almost got into my white 1950s kind of, oh, hey, sir, how's your day? Kind of thing.
It should have been like the classic, like the old timey like massa.
Oh, no.
What's up, massa?
Oh, my God.
It's just like that. We're demonetized. So, today we do have some topics. We're going to be talking about the mini consoles that have been coming out, mainly the PlayStation, and I believe I don't want to say that we're going to see a Sega one, but it sounds like they're trying to.
Yeah.
That's the rumor.
Yeah, and unfortunately I didn't fact check hardcore on this one. We're also going to be talking about what's up with Marvel, because Marvel's been doing some weird stuff.
Yeah, DC by proxy has been too.
And last but not least, we're going to be talking about Soul Calibur, actually.
Yep, that's coming up.
Oh, it's coming up real fast, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So, where do you guys want to start on this one?
Well, let's go ahead and start with the mini consoles.
Okay, so...
In my hand right now is a mini NES.
Yeah.
Which is rather magical.
See, the thing that's funny about that, Ray, is that they just restocked both. And I feel like it's because Nintendo heard Sony was, coming into the market, and they're like, shit.
They're like, oh, no. No.
Can't we have this one thing, Sony? Damn it!
Sony's just rubbing its hands together across the...
Like, real talk, though, I feel like Sony is doing this just to spite Nintendo, even though this classic is cool. But, I feel like Sony's doing it because, like, Sony feels like they spite Nintendo every now and then. Because, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I feel like there is... It's like they usually would play the nicest together for a while, but
they never played the nicest together.
No, there definitely is a one-up.
There's like a commercial where Crash Bandicoot, I think, went to Nintendo and, like, had a megaphone.
Oh, yeah,
you remember that commercial?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, they were never... Sega, it wasn't like... Okay, Sony and Nintendo were never...
Well, they were never, like, flat...
Like Sega and Nintendo. It wasn't like that.
They weren't ever, like, everybody an Xbox,
Everybody had an Xbox.
So...
What's up?
So, I have an article I'm reading right now. Sega pushes Mega Drive Mini Global release to 2019.
So,
cool, okay.
They're doing it.
They are.
So they're doing it.
Mega Drive in Japan and Europe, and then here in the good old US, the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Cool.
That's pretty neat. So, I mean, like this pretty. So this is pretty gonna be interesting because Nintendo. I feel like definitely this is them restocking this Nintendo. The SNES Classic was a retaliation to Sony announcing this.
And continue on.
No, I was just gonna say because they would be like, oh man, because Sony's gonna keep those little fuckers well stocked.
Oh, probably.
You know,
See, that's the thing is Nintendo. Nintendo's got to be careful now when it comes to this mini console, because if they don't keep them stocked, Sony's going to. Let's be real here. Sony's not going to play that shit realistically.
Yeah.
And nor do I think Sega is going to either.
Yeah. I think the only time there was ever a shortage of a Sony system was when the PS2 came out. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
everybody bought that motherfucker. It's like, okay, PS2. Oh, okay, I'll get it tomorrow. And like, no,
Nope, you couldn't. No.
nope. It was like months later.
And the thing about go on.
I was just gonna, and that was a legit shortage,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, and the thing that's funny is if I remember, they remedied that though, like real quick.
Oh yeah, never happened again. Didn't
Yeah.
happen with the PS3. Didn't happen with the PS4. That did not happen.
Yeah, no.
Wait a minute. Maybe it did happen with the PS4.
I don't think so.
Yes,
Oh,
actually, it did. It did. Because I had friends working at GameStop. I think even my sister-in-law worked at the time. But okay, so this is me throwing GameStop under the bus a little bit. But this is true. So PS4 comes out and it was actually selling out. It was not as bad as the PS2 was, but people had to wait a little bit before they got their system. So people that pre-ordered PS4, they're not talking about you put $10 down on the damn thing. You're buying the whole system waiting for it to come out. So people that pre-ordered and then didn't come pick it up within like a day, the employees at GameStop were told just to sell them. Take them on the back and sell them.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, not cool. So
No.
Where we were from, that didn't go through.
yeah,
But,
good. No, that I know that happened here because there was one of my friends on Facebook had a little blurb about it, and it was how upset he was that he didn't get it that day. He came in the next morning and his was sold, and it was like, oh too bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Sucks.
I heard about it, but that didn't happen where we were. Probably because our state is so much smaller.
Yeah.
So the thing that's really funny about these classics, though, right, is that the PlayStation 1 I feel is really necessary compared to the Genesis. Before we even started this, you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
At least the Genesis one.
Yeah, it's Nintendo makes sense because you can really only get Nintendo games on Nintendo systems.
Yeah.
Also, when it comes to the Super Nintendo Classic, like half the games on it go for more than the console does.
Yeah,
As a person that, as you watch our shows, you've probably seen Nostalgia Goggles. As a person that collects these kind of games, they're expensive.
Yeah.
Earthbound alone is the price.
Yeah.
Of
yes.
more than the price of the Super
Yeah.
Nintendo Classic. Same thing with Super Metroid, Contra, Castlevania. I do wish there was more games. Like I wish there's Dracula X, because that game's impossible.
Oh man.
Oh, it's not a good. I know a lot of people don't like it. I enjoyed it,
That was wonderful.
but it's
Say lovely.
expensive. You know?
But yeah, the Genesis, those games were available on so many consoles. They're on the PS3,
Didn't they make
the
discs,
PS4.
though?
There's disc versions. There's a
Yeah.
Sonic Classic Collection.
There's like
just
a Genesis
Sonic games.
collection, right?
Then there's Sonic's Genesis Collection with all the Sonic games, except for I think Sonic and Knuckles isn't on there. Something weird. Something isn't on
Something
there.
stupid, yeah.
But there's it has Shinobi and Columns. Of course, you got
there's a Mega Drive collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds.
Now,
of
you know
stuff.
what would have been really cool? Is if they did the Master System.
Yep.
Like, I would have loved to see
Mhm.
Alex Kidd and Shinobi Land. That game...
Well, one of the
It's expensive.
collections had that on there.
Oh, it did?
So yeah, maybe the Mega Drive or the Genesis will have that.
Yeah, I hope so, because I remember that it was a Master System game only.
Yeah.
And that's the old one, the 2-button,
Oh yes.
Yeah, that one, I really wish we got more of that, because that had some really good games, or some really good demakes, like Altered Beast and stuff like that. But it was a really cool console, and I think Sega should embrace that a little bit. I know it won't be like the seller of all sellers, but it'd still be pretty cool for them
it
to
would
be
help.
like,
Yeah.
first Sega console.
I mean, Altered Beast is a pretty legendary game. I mean, there's
Wasn't it like a launch title, though? For the Sega Genesis? Because I thought
probably. I
it
don't
was before
remember,
Sonic,
honestly.
and,
Yeah, it was definitely before Sonic. I remember even there's a musician from the '90s and early '80s named Matthew Sweet, and one of his albums is named Altered Beast after the.
Oh, that's
game.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was a '90s weeaboo.
That's amazing.
He had two different music videos for songs. One was Cobra, and then the other one used a bunch of stuff from Yorosei Yatsura, also known as Lum.
Yeah.
So yeah, just cool stuff. Yeah, he was a cool guy.
I think what would have been cooler, though, for Sega to do, to compete with Sony, would have been to do a Saturn.
I agree. Well, when you told me that Sega was doing one, I immediately thought, oh, Saturn! You're like, no, it's Genesis. And I'm like, Oh, okay.
Giving the Saturn a second life would have been a good
Yeah.
Well, it's because America didn't get a lot of the Saturn stuff.
No.
We missed a lot of it. And I think stuff like Darkstalkers and, I know that, like, I don't think Capcom would be like, no, we're not going to do it, I think Virtua Fighter would be cool.
Yep, some Virtua Fighter.
Virtual
would have been
Cop.
nice.
Cop. I don't think that
would have been
down.
nice to have those ports of House of the Dead for the Saturn, and it would have
I
been
think
also
the
been Nights of Dreams.
Dreamcast version would have been better for that.
I will say
Yeah.
a selling point for me at least for the Saturn, a mini Saturn, would be if they had arcade perfect X vs Street Fighter and Marvel Super Heroes Street Fighter.
No,
that
would
would
be
be a
also
day
cool.
one buy.
What?
Hit me.
Okay, now this one's cool because they did it with the Super Nintendo. Finish Sonic Extreme. I know it's not. I know
that also would be
That's
amazing.
just, it's not like it's impossible. The moment that because
it was almost done, right?
Yeah, it was almost done from what they said.
So
and,
close.
As the legends say.
Yeah, and like for instance, they did that with Star Fox, and they re-released Star Fox 2. So why not just do that?
Hey,
Yeah,
maybe someone's listening at Sega. You never know.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
we know we're not doing. You know.
I mean, we got enough time for people to share, like, and comment on this one, so it could get there.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think it'd be cool for them to do that, and also, I think it'd be smart if they did a Dreamcast.
Ooh, yeah.
I was gonna say
yeah.
if they don't do a Saturn, I'd love to see a Dreamcast. I'd love to also see like games like I doubt it, but I'd like to see games like Police Knots and stuff get.
Whoa, wouldn't that be crazy?
I feel
Yeah,
like
get
that
ported.
one would be a cool HD though. Like if they remade like Police Knots and Snatcher
Yeah,
without.
Instead of re-releasing them on a mini
Yeah,
console.
I feel like it'd be cool if Hideo Kojima just not redid. Actually, yeah, well, kind of redid them.
Did Konami publish those games?
I think they did, but I think he has it though. I think he has the rights to them.
Okay, good. Cool.
Anyway, but no, yeah. So the mini consoles, it really is an interesting prospect. I'm really wondering how they're going to go down because with at least especially with the PlayStation.
PlayStation's gonna sell, dude.
Yes, it is.
It's gonna. I know it's gonna sell like crazy, and that makes me wonder: is the price point gonna be like kind of even with the Super?
I thought it was gonna be
Nintendo?
like 50. They said 50 or 40.
What, for
Wow,
the,
if it's 40, that thing's gonna sell like
for the
like
PlayStation?
crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's at 100.
Oh,
Really?
still worth it.
No, yeah,
Sure,
I
yeah.
can still see it's still gonna be popular.
Yeah, I mean, it has Tekken 3, it
Which
has
is
Ridge
one of the
Racer
greatest
4,
Tekken.
and it has Final Fantasy 7. Those three alone are worth the damn thing. Like, honestly.
Yeah, that's already worth.
The biggest problem with that one is the one that's not worth it to be is Final Fantasy VII, since that thing has been ported like on a toaster.
It has been. It
It's
really
just
has.
now they're getting out
it's
of
still. Well, so I was reading some different comments on in the system, and they're like, "Well, I hope it's the console version of Tekken 3, not the arcade one." And I'm like, "It's the PlayStation version of it. Like, why would they put the arcade version of it?
Oh yeah, why
What
would
is
you-
wrong with you, man? No.
Yeah, why
of course,
would
it'll
you
have
do that?
everything from the PlayStation
I love when
version.
people do that though.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it's. Of course it is.
Yeah, you
it's,
know?
it's obviously going to be what it was.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, do you guys think this is how they're gonna get out of having to do the Final Fantasy VII remaster?
No.
They're just gonna.
No,
try
see,
to-
you say that,
try to-
right? But yet they are putting it on the Switch. They're putting it on the Xbox. They're putting it back on the PC. No, people are
no.
just going to be like, but that 7 though.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
It'll happen. I just don't know if it's gonna happen anytime soon. I mean,
In
it
our
was revealed
lifetime.
what 3 years ago?
Longer.
4 years ago?
I feel like yeah.
Well,
I
like,
remember,
they
like-
had like a how far do you want to technically go back? Because they had a tech demo on the PlayStation 2.
No. I mean, like officially, this is the
Oh.
like when they announced it at what was it?
E3?
Was it E3?
Yeah.
So I think they proceeded with, "Hey, we're doing Final Fantasy 7, and it's the remastered version for PS4." But there was like 2 people clapping. There was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I think at Tokyo Game Show that same year, they actually had the reveal for the 7 remake, and everybody lost their goddamn mind. And I remember, my brother told me it happened, and I was like, "Sure." And he goes, "No, come here, look at the trailer." And I'm like, "Sure it is." And I watched that trailer, and I was stunned. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be amazing!" And now 4 years later, I'm still like, "Okay, well, they showed that one little bit of the first 3 minutes of the game, of
First 2 seconds.
Cloud running and defeating soldiers. I mean, cool, I guess. I mean, are they gonna have Tifa playable? Like, are you getting to that point? It's just gonna be Cloud and Barrett. First,
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole game.
first half hour. That's all you get. There you go.
You have to pay for everybody else.
You know, hey, we met Tifa. The end. You know, start playing. Ding, ding, ding.
You know what's really great
Ding,
though
ding,
is that
ding.
if they make you pay for anything,
Oh,
I know the one character I'm not going to pay for is Yuffie because I never used her in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
But this is getting completely off topic.
Oh yeah, here we are.
Yeah. So yeah, the minis are definitely they're a great they are a great investment, and yeah, I'm sure Nintendo's sitting there like, oh, fuck.
Sweating bullets. And speaking of, before we move off on this one, everybody keeps going, man, they should make a Nintendo 64 classic. I think we should skip it. Because Rare made the 64, and you know like hell Microsoft is not going to let them do it. I'm sorry. I just do not think Nintendo... Because, one, there's already the Rare replay that has Banjo-Kazooie. You know? And Conker's Bad Fur Day.
So, even though those are still Nintendo games, they're under Rare, so they still can't use them?
They probably can't, no. The only one that Nintendo has is Donkey Kong 64, and a lot of people don't like that one. It's it's mixed, so I don't like because let's be real here. When you think of Nintendo 64, besides Zelda and Mario, you probably think of Banjo-Kazooie, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Conker's Bad Fur Day,
absolutely GoldenEye.
What else? Diddy Kong Racing. These are games that made the 64, and without them, it wouldn't feel right, nor would it be really worth it. I mean, yeah, there's some great games like Mario Kart 64, but in the end, you could just buy a Nintendo 64. There were so many.
Yeah, it's not exactly a rare console.
Yeah, no. So, like, if they're going, $60, just buy yourself a 64 and buy those games.
How rare is a PS1 right now?
Not even.
Okay, that's what I figured. And plus,
the games are rare.
PS2 is backwards compatible. PS3 can still play PS1 games.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah,
there's lots of ways to play the games.
It is more about the games being difficult to find.
Yeah.
It's not actually only about that. It's just I have a friend that isn't willing to go backwards. That isn't willing. He sold them, and he's not willing to collect them again. And that's what I feel like the classics are for. The classics aren't for people like me that collects. They're for people that don't want to go back and do it, you know, or didn't hold on to their games.
Yeah. You know? Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that they're got to college or got to their first like official jobs and lost the time to play these games.
Exactly.
You know? Even now with me, you know, I have a full-time job and a lot of commitments, and you know, it's like maybe if I'm lucky, maybe like an hour in a day or every 2 days. You know, like on my days off, I still have, you know, because I work so much, there's a lot to get caught up on in life. So it's pretty rare. I get those days, like the old days of playing, you know, 6 hours straight or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's be real here. If I was like, yo, dude, do you want to play Tekken 3? You probably won't pull out a binder of games if you have the Super Nintendo Classic. Not Super Nintendo Classic.
Tekken 3 on the Super Nintendo, remember that one?
Yeah, that it was so good. Too bad it had some terrible lag.
Yeah, just half hour loading time, that's all.
No big deal.
But, so you would probably pull out the PlayStation, the Classic before you pull out the actual game. I feel, unless you're like a hardcore purist.
I would, because I don't think I have my copy of Tekken 7.
Tekken 7. Wow, we're just...
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I don't think I have my copy of Tekken 3 anymore, like the old one.
Yeah.
And, like, also, what's messed up about that one is that it's not available on the PS network, you know? Like, Tekken 1 is on there, Tekken 2 is on there, but there's no Tekken 3, and it's like...
That's gross.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, that's like one of the selling points for the PlayStation Mini or PlayStation Classic is because it has Tekken 3, and you can't get that anywhere else, you know?
Yeah,
The closest you're going to find is the arcade port that was on the disc of Tekken 5. That's about it.
Okay.
Before we move off of this topic, I was just... I'm sorry. I just was wondering, so you mentioned that they've talked about they're going to have Tekken and Final Fantasy. Do we know anything else that's going to be on it? Or
let me see this. Tekken 3, Final Fantasy 7, I think... Wild Arms, I think they said.
Wild Arms is amazing.
Jumping Flash,
which is also amazing. It's a game I've been after for a while.
Riders of 4. So yeah, so there's a couple games that are announced, but there's supposed to be I think 20 games overall. So
which is worth it.
No, that is worth it.
I'm hoping Omega Boost is on it though.
We will see.
Have you played that one yet?
No, never played Omega Boost.
Oh, cool.
I feel like there'll be some Capcom game on there. Maybe Alpha 3.
Maybe
the PlayStation version of Alpha 3 was bad ass. Like so. What was cool about it was that, you know, before that, all the PlayStation ports of the Capcom arcade games, while not awful, they had really, really bad animation because there's only so much space you can put on the PlayStation. That's what the Saturn had over the PlayStation. The Saturn could handle the 2D graphics better. Now, with Street Fighter Alpha 3, what they did is a lot of like the extra effects and projectile stuff. They made them 3D graphics instead, so it freed up so much space. So animation-wise, it's super close to the arcade, and also the effects are really cool. And when I finally got a chance to play the arcade version, I was actually disappointed. I was like, these lame ass like lightning bolts and shit. Like on the PlayStation 3, like when you get your guard broken in the game, it's like a blue spark, you know. But on the PlayStation version, you see like a little like shield appear on your character and it explodes off, and like the parts bounce on the screen.
Pretty cool.
It looks really cool. So I'm almost like,
awesome.
man, like PlayStation version like this is the best version. How is this possible? The PlayStation version is the best version, but yeah.
I was just gonna ask you guys like which games you guys wanted to see on it, but
Oh yeah,
or which
Alpha
games
3.
you think will be.
Boy, I think Omega Boost, because that's just a game that is underrated, I feel, so.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, these are the 3 games I'm thinking will be on there, like, no matter what. One of these is going to end up on there, and I think we're either going to get Ratchet and Clank, Jak and
For the
Daxter.
PlayStation 1?
Oh, wait, they don't go back that far. I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
Yeah.
Probably like a Crash Bandicoot game.
Yeah,
Even though
Crash
they just
Bandicoot for sure.
Just did the collection, but I feel like
For
Crash
the
has to be
PS2,
on there.
it'll
Yeah, if they did a
definitely-
PS2, yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm in the wrong console.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess,
See, the thing about this is before we completely end this,
okay.
it'll actually be great for collectors because then I feel like I've caught myself looking up what is the best games for
the
PlayStation.
first Spider-Man or Spider-Man
Yeah,
2.
yeah.
Those were excellent.
1 and 2,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would love to have either one of those would be perfect for it to have on there.
But I keep
That'd
looking
be
up
cool.
those lists of top 10 ones, and if somebody just kind of goes, here's what you got, you can be like, cool, I can get the physical versions of these and play them on it or play them in their original form. So you can have that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Sega.
Yeah. I feel like there's a good chance we'll see some sort of Mortal Kombat on there, either regular Mortal Kombat 3 or the trilogy. I'm trying to think, what are like the iconic PlayStation games? It's been such a long time. I haven't really thought about this.
Yeah.
The iconic PlayStation games.
Do you guys think Resident Evil would end up on
Yes,
there? Or do you
one of them
think-
at least.
It really needs to be on there. It might not be, but I feel it really, really, really should be on there. 1 or 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it had been ported so much that they would.
It still hasn't. Well, the thing is, it's been ported so
the first
much.
one, really.
Oh, the first one has been, but here's the thing: we haven't had the original.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the original, not like the GameCube remake. I mean,
Yeah.
the original, actual first game, not the director's cut.
Yeah.
Like the original, like.
Yeah, we
here's
haven't
the
had
game.
that in a while,
Yeah, that's
so.
that damn scene that I go back and look at it looks so shitty, but like that first time I saw that scene where like the zombie turns around.
Oh, I
you
thought
know?
I still think that's
Oh
pretty
my god, that scared the shit out of me. Like honestly, it was me and my brother and sister playing, and like we just kind of stood up, turned the console off, and just like that was it. That was the end of the video game for the day.
Oh, that was like the first time Chris and I played Resident Evil 7.
cool. 7.
Yeah, when we played 7, remember we were at my house and like we got to I think we got to a point where I think we were in the barn and we were just like, this is too much. We're done.
Oh,
now.
you mean 4, not 7. 4.
No. I'm talking about 7 because remember we.
Oh yeah, 4, 7. Wow.
Yeah, you were just like, I think we're done for today. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
All right, so we spent at least 22 minutes on this topic. I hate to cut it off.
That's
but
all right. It's a good place to.
I feel like So here's the thing. Moving onward. What's up with? I'm gonna give this one to Olivia. What's up with DC and Marvel right now?
I don't know. Okay, so just
And,
to fill you
goodbye,
okay,
guys.
yes.
See you guys next
Okay,
time.
okay, no,
The
yeah.
end.
Yep. Just like the little.
Yeah.
No. Okay. No, but in all seriousness,
Ah.
so right now we've been kind of noticing that. Okay, first off, they had made this huge deal about Brian Michael Bendis, who's written Spider-Man, at least one of the Spider-Man books for years, going over to
Ultimate,
DC.
yeah. Ultimate, didn't he
yeah,
also
Ultimate.
do like Avengers for a while? Like,
for a
because I think he did
little
Secret
bit.
Wars
He
and
did Avengers,
yeah.
right when the team split between Cap's team and
Disassembled.
Peter's team. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he had that
Oh,
run
yeah,
on
and
Guardians.
Civil before
Yeah,
that,
he had
yeah.
a short run on Guardians of the Galaxy.
a long run.
Oh, it was a long run. I
It was
thought,
pretty.
okay.
50 books is pretty good. For
Okay, yeah, 50
for
books is
modern day,
respectable.
50 books is good because then they normally like go. Now we're rebooting it. So
I think a 2-year run is a pretty good.
It is
Yeah.
a good run.
You
No,
know,
yeah.
50 issues, damn.
Yeah. So yeah, now thank you for bringing that to my attention. So yeah, he moved over and now he's writing Superman.
now
And
here's the thing that's funny about that is that they didn't even tell us that he's coming. They like warned us in every book, 2-page spread. Bendis is coming.
well, it wasn't enough warning. Sorry,
Prepare
guys.
your asses, DC fans. We got Bendis.
Bend
Okay.
over for Bendis.
Prepare Prepare your asses because the canon's gonna get all kinds of fucked up.
So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be salty, but no. So then recently they just finished off with they just finished off a big run on Wonder Woman.
They did?
Yeah, with book 50 and book 52.
It's done?
No, yeah, book 50. No, it's not done. They just finished off with that writer. Then they had they have this writer right now who's taken over right now. I'll throw his name in at some point during this podcast. But they put him in here. And I really am liking him. But then I read the little DC Nation magazine they give you at the comic shop. And apparently he's getting swapped out for this writer who worked at Marvel.
That worked on Miss Marvel, actually.
Yeah, she wrote Miss Marvel, apparently, for quite a few years. The Kamala Khan run, not the Carol Danvers run. And then also I've heard about another Captain Marvel writer that's coming over to DC.
Captain Marvel, not Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Captain Marvel writer who's coming over.
And they are doing Aquaman.
Yeah, they're coming over to do Aquaman, and I'm like, what's going on? Okay, so, yeah, basically, this whole thing is super weird. Because I don't know what's happening, why so many Marvel writers are coming over to DC. And I'm a little nervous, if I'm going to be honest, because I kind of feel like I don't feel like Bendis is doing... I don't like Bendis' run on Superman. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't like Bendis' run on Superman. I'm also super nervous because when I read that article about the new writer taking over for Wonder Woman in November, I'm a little worried that they're going to get really hung up on basically pushing a feminist agenda more so than writing the story, I think.
You said it, not me.
Okay, so I will ask, why is that a bad thing?
I don't feel like it's a bad thing, but I feel like it'll turn off a lot of people to the book. I also feel that right now, a lot of why are you raising your hands?
Because I'm going to be the douche and be of why I feel. Not that it's a bad thing, but I can see why it is. It's because a lot of writers nowadays take it not as putting a feminist agenda in it. They force it where it's no longer about the book. It becomes something different. It's not the superhero. It's them. Okay, remember One More Day and how Joe Quesada had a lot of power over that?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it becomes or devolves into sometimes.
Well, it's like, I think my big thing is I noticed they talked a lot about playing with classic villains, which I'm all for. But I'm also wondering, because right now Wonder Woman's in a kind of a weird place in the comics.
Okay, so catch us up with, because I haven't really been reading Wonder Woman lately.
Okay,
so catch us up with Wonder Woman.
So with Wonder Woman, okay, so it starts as far back as the New 52 run. They established that Wonder Woman is the child of Hippolyta and Zeus.
That hasn't changed.
Yeah, the whole made of clay thing was bullshit. Wonder Woman becomes the god of... over the course of the book, Wonder Woman becomes the god of war, relinquishes her powers at some point, and just life goes on. But then in the Rebirth, they start doing this whole thing about where they go, yeah, everything's lie, none of this was true, you've been deceived, and then they just let that plot point go. They didn't answer it. They just let it go.
Oh, so what was she lied to about?
She wasn't the god of war.
She wasn't the god of war. She
was.
No, but yeah, that's the thing. They say everything you know has been a lie, and then they start bringing in old characters like Ferdinand, her Minotaur chef. He comes back.
So
and
did Greg Rucka take over writing at this point? Because it looked like a Greg Rucka character.
That was a Greg Rucka thing, I think. And then. And then Wonder Woman's, she hasn't apparently been back to Paradise Island in forever. She's been exiled. She literally can't go home. Which is weird because throughout the whole New 52, her exile was self-imposed. She had been back before. And so there's this whole weirdness. And then they bring up the second arc of, that Wonder Woman run. Because then they show us Ares, and it was a really cool interpretation, but it was different. Then they get into this whole second arc, which is about Wonder Woman's brother, essentially.
Which was referenced in the New 52.
Because in the New 52, they established, oh yeah, you have a twin brother. And she's like, what? So, twin brother comes in. His arc was fine. It ended off on a pretty high note. And now we're in this weird limbo where they've just been kind of throwing little short stories at us. Right now, this one's actually it's great. Is pretty great. And they're really great. And I really like them. And
that's where the fear comes in.
Yeah, so I'm really at this point of I'm like, why do we need this other writer? Because this guy's doing just fine.
It's kind of like what happened when Bendis came in for Superman, is that Superman had a great run prior. Actually, Superman, from what I know, I've even gotten people that don't like Superman to read this new run. And when Bendis came in, they're like, yeah, dude, I'm sorry, I love Bendis, but gotta drop it, you know.
Yeah, he found a way to write Lois and John out of the whole story.
He knows.
Oh yeah, you read.
Because there may be people that.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Bendis found a way to write Lois and John out of the story, which was a really dumb plot device, I gotta say.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, John is Superman. And Lois
that's the
son.
son. Yeah, and so now it's just Superman doing Superman things on his own, but basically there's this whole thing of where he was like, I need to reestablish this whole history of Krypton. So he invented this character that literally is the cause of Krypton's demise, and they wrote him out of the thing so that Supergirl can go be angry at that.
Can't really say that they wrote him out because he's back.
He is back because he is back because there's this whole thing of Superman hunting him down through the Phantom Zones. So
And what's his name again?
Ragul Zor.
Dude, okay.
Ragu.
Okay. He sounds like a sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds like the king of sauce, but. No, he's some religious zealot who believes that Krypton is a cancer on the universe. Which is not a horrible idea, but it just is super weird and it comes out of nowhere. And you know what? I hate to say it, but I'm probably just being a bit of a comic purist about this whole thing. But I just don't like, because I'm all getting offended that people are rocking the boat, and I guess
I really can't say that you're a comic purist, because comic purists would be like, you know, the Rebirth is just terrible altogether.
Well,
the 52 was terrible. Let's go back to the to whenever DC was good, I guess, in their eyes.
Yeah, but I guess the main thing for me is I'm wondering, why are all these writers coming to DC? Is it...
I feel that Marvel might be going through a little bit of a... Marvel has those weird... Marvel's weird with business, is what I think I'm trying to get at. Because Marvel has screwed the pooch before. That's where Image came from. You know? You remember Image, right?
Nope.
Okay. So, Image... No. But Marvel screwed the pooch before, and I feel like DC's just offering better. You know?
Maybe.
Better pay, probably.
Probably.
And probably more freedom.
Yeah, but it's... I don't know. Maybe...
Well, I mean, that's kind of how Superman... That's what's happened with Superman, right?
That's true.
They've given him more freedom.
That makes sense to me, because I feel like Marvel is getting hampered more and more by what's going on with their cinematic universe. The popularity of that is... I mean, of course, it was going to bleed into the comic books, but I feel it's to a point where it's stifling the writers. They writers can't do anything too crazy. You know, there's a whole thing where people are upset that you know, Captain America was the Falcon and Iron Man was
with Ironheart,
little girl,
Riri Williams. And then Jane Foster's
and
Thor.
Then, Thor wasn't Thor, and
Hulk wasn't Hulk.
Yeah, so and it still, those are really cool ideas, but everyone was like, oh, but in the movies, you know.
Yeah.
So
and some of them were done really well.
Yeah, I haven't read the Jane Foster Thor,
Amazing.
but I've heard nothing but great stuff about it.
No,
Maybe go and get that one.
Incredible.
Because that was still Jason Aaron writing all that, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, he wrote a great Thor. Like, he did the whole that God Killer arc.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was great. That was perfect Thor. That was right up there with Walt Simons and stuff.
Yeah.
No, but it's... No, yeah, so I guess, maybe that's it.
Well, because Marvel's done that before. Like, that is exactly where, like I said before, Image came from. And, because not the exact same circumstances, but wasn't it that the writers didn't feel like they had enough creative freedom with some of the characters? So they just moved over?
Yeah, I mean, even with, you know, back in the 80s with Alan Moore with DC, you know, the reason he left was because they really screwed him over on a lot of deals. So I'm wondering if maybe that's happening to some of these writers, you know, that they're putting all this effort into making these characters better, and they're getting kind of written out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, it's the character's popular, not the writer. It's, you know, it's like, you know, Alan Moore completely recreated Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing was
Yes.
just some B movie monster who gives a fuck about him. But Alan Moore took and made him a great character for DC.
Speaking of that, it also might come from that because we were talking to the comic store owner that, and also I've noticed this, Ms. Marvel isn't being advertised like other comic books are. It's underselling, and when it's advertised, it sells. When it's not, no.
So Ms. Marvel that's the one with the Kamala Khan?
Kamala, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have never read a single thing about her. I don't know anything. What is
It's
her
good.
deal?
Oh, so Kamala's story is interesting because back when they were really pushing the Inhumans stuff, like that started about like 2015 or so. Kamala gets infected with this Terrigen gas that unlocks her Inhuman gene, but that gives her abilities very similar to her hero, Ms. Marvel or Captain Marvel.
Gotcha.
So she kind of takes on the mantle of Ms. Marvel.
I wouldn't say her powers are similar, though.
Well, they started out being similar, but they evolved into she evolved basically into her own character with her own unique kind of skill set.
And that's all we really know. We didn't
Can't you make her hands bigger or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff.
A lot of
like
like Fantastic Four kind of stuff.
Because like I heard, there's a new Ms. Marvel. I'm like, okay, cool. And I saw her, just this girl with these growing arms. And I'm like, what does it have to do with Carol Danvers?
Yeah.
Like, this is nothing.
She was being mentored by Carol for a while.
For like a minute, and then Civil War 2 happened.
Yeah, and Kamala started distancing herself from her. She was, and from what I had read before they tried to do their first soft reboot with her, she was a good character, and I liked her,
Just we didn't have the money to keep up.
Yeah, at the time, we just couldn't keep up with her book.
Still can't.
Yeah, but so now it's kind of one of those things of I'm wondering, like, basically, I don't feel okay. Like, I know I said like a lot of stuff like from the beginning of this, and I don't feel like that if that's the same writer that they'll necessarily do bad with Wonder Woman. But I'm also like I'm being protective because the whole Bendis thing didn't work out like I had hoped.
Yeah, I also see where you're coming from because, and this is just coming from me as a person that is, okay. Comics kind of need to be careful right now because if you rock the boat too much, it'll make people leave.
But if you don't do anything new...
Yeah, it'll make people leave either way. But that's not what I was getting at. I was getting at the point of just... There's, like, a giant risk with this. I kind of lost where I was going at.
Sorry.
I think what I was trying to get at is that, like... If you're a Wonder Woman fan, you're already still reeling from where Rebirth started, where they went, hey, 52 books, gone. Forget about it. Didn't happen. And then they didn't explain it. They pulled what the 52 did. They never explained what's canon and what's not. And that's where a lot of people are going to be like, what? Then the Wonder Woman movie came out. So then that'll confuse people. And then, and now there's a new writer that's bringing back old characters. And then now they're going to be like, where did they come from? Let's explain that. Kind of a weird little limbo that we're at right now.
Yeah, not to mention the tonal shift with Wonder Woman a couple of times.
Yeah.
Let me just put it this way. They always remember she's an agent of love and peace when it's convenient for the plot.
But also, Aquaman's getting Aquaman's kind of scary right now because Aquaman was doing really, really good from 52 to now. And...
Yeah, just kind of throwing someone new in is kind of...
Especially since, once again, Aquaman's getting a new movie, too.
That's one of the things that kind of killed comic books for me with recently was all that New 52 garbage, It's like, this is New 52. Everything's different, except for some stuff isn't. But then some stuff is, and it's like, okay, so what happened with Batman? Oh, Batman's the same. And you're like, so he's been Batman for 5 years and he's gone through 7 Robins. Stop getting Robins, Batman.
Yeah.
Dick Grayson, I got him, I was a young man, I got him. 5 years later, now he's, he's the same age as me.
Yeah.
It
kind of makes a lot of stuff. And then, like, what else was it? In Batman Incorporated, they referenced, Dick Grayson was Batman. And we go, when?
Yeah.
When was he Batman? How was this?
A brief afternoon back in 2015.
Yeah, exactly. No. And then, like, the New 52 Wonder Woman did it right. They gave us the whole backstory. Green Lantern did it right, I feel. I feel like the New 52 did it right.
I'm going to disagree with you there on Green Lantern.
Oh, I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Not that I didn't enjoy it, but it was another one of those characters where some of the stuff happened, some didn't. You're like, he's been Green Lantern for 5 years. Like, so in that time, he's greatest Green Lantern ever. He died. He became the Spectre.
That's still canon?
All that stuff.
I don't know.
That was the problem.
That's the thing is, I don't remember them. I don't remember them talking about that.
So, because all that was all part of the World Light and all that stuff, And then when at the end of Jeff John's run, which is still New 52, all that was referenced when you brought back Necron, you know?
Mhm.
And it's like, so all that happened in 5 years to GL. Like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
No sense.
Oh, it doesn't.
No,
Yeah.
You know.
And then that's the thing. Like, the Batman stories weren't bad. You know,
No.
actually, I love like the beginning of Scott Snyder's run. Oh my god, that was
Scott
good.
Snyder's
You know?
run's good.
Yeah,
Detective
yeah.
is okay.
So it wasn't they were bad comic books. It was confusing. People
Yeah.
had been reading it for a long time.
Oh,
were
the
like,
Flash
what
was
fuck's going
also
on?
really confusing.
Yep, Flash was confusing.
Static Shock was confusing. Too bad we didn't get that one completely.
It was
Static
very
Static got
short-lived.
cut before it was even.
It was
started.
very short-lived.
Oh, Teen Titans was the worst though.
Oh,
Teen
my,
Titans.
don't even get me started on that bullshit.
Yeah,
Jeez.
God.
Sorry that this turned into
That-
the New 52 talk, but you know.
It's okay. Or it's okay. This is what this podcast is for.
Yeah.
No, go on.
And I think the last but not least, the one that I feel is the worst one to do, Superman. I love the writing of Superman, but Action Comics versus Superman was very like.
It got messy.
Did you read those?
One
or
was
not?
good and one was
Oh, they
not.
both were good. It's just one was like, hey, Superman's edgy. Not, he's Superman. Like, in the New 52 book, he's like, he drops a guy off the building and catches him and goes, I wouldn't drop you. And I'm like, what the... That's like a Batman thing to do.
Well, what they were doing with Superman there, what Grant Morrison was doing with Superman is he was taking him back to his roots. That exactly was old-timey Superman. That was Superman back in the Golden Age. Superman in the Golden Age did not fuck around. There was an issue, I think issue 2, maybe in the first issue of Action, where if he sees a guy beating his wife, Superman grabs the motherfucker and just throws him across the city. And that's the end of it. Doesn't see him again, right? Now, they went back later and fixed it, you know, and had him... Superman wouldn't do that, you know, he just was going to do it and he fainted. But in the original stories, Superman got the motherfucker and was like, goodbye.
Yeah,
You know?
and see, that's the thing is that those arcs, though, that's confusing for a lot of comic readers because Superman is such a character. You know, he's such a good character for that.
No, I think in the New 52, especially, the big problem with it is that we would have this like you said.
Well, even there's also editing problems too.
Well, yeah, but the biggest issue is the inconsistency wasn't just between Action Comics and Superman's own title. It was in his own book. He would go from being normal Superman, like normal, just like the Blue Boy Scout, you know, to
just lobbing
angst.
people off building.
Yeah, it just angst,
Like,
angst,
even
angst,
when-
angst, and
Yeah, it kind of bothered because like there's moments where like what was it like Hell on Earth. There's that moment where they find out that the Teen Titans exist. And you read that book?
I remember Hell.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
heard of Kal-El? This is H-L.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, we're gonna talk about the Teen Titans, and we're like, you didn't know about this? How'd you not know about this? That means that you ignored the original Titans
not to mention you ignored Connor here for about what?
forever.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I think, and then also just the fact that Supergirl was super aggro in the New 52 was also
Yeah,
really
she's kind of been
confusing.
on
She's
and
always
off
been.
aggro.
She's been on and off aggro, but she just kind of was full on, just going way too hard from the whole beginning of.
That
New
was almost
52.
every character in 52 was like super like, you did what to me? You know, like I remember the first issue of Justice League, you know, where they go and GL and Batman go after Superman, and Superman fucking punches him through a wall and is like, I don't handle easy. And it's like, the fuck, Superman?
I'm not gonna
Are
lie
you
to
okay?
you. I think that's one of my favorite things is when Superman knocked the fuck out of Batman.
He got him both, but it was still like,
I mean,
it was just kind of like, it's like, oh, I'm edgy Superman. I'm
I like it.
Lord, you know?
I like it just only because I'm sick of people going, well, with enough prep time, Batman could take Superman. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I mean, look, dude, you give me a kryptonite stick or a kryptonite bullet, dude, I'll probably do it. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with the argument. You know, it's like, oh, if Batman has this, it's like all Superman has to do. Honestly, Superman has to wake
You
up.
could like sneeze, dude.
Superman wakes up, he went. Like that's it. You know, I was like, I have all this stuff. And Superman, I'll just fly into orbit around the moon and eat Vishnu. You know, like not that he ever would, but it's like it's a stupid argument. I mean, anybody given time can be. You know, it's like, well, I'm not even gonna get into that one, but
that's a whole other blast of the past.
Yeah.
But,
And yeah, we're what 43 minutes. What do you think? Is that?
No, we can. This can go on for the run time is meant to be at least an hour.
Okay.
So I mean, these are cut into parts, obviously, future people.
Yeah.
But I think I think realistically we've devolved enough where we can get to the next topic, which is can I just call it fighting games in general? Because it's definitely gonna be Soul Calibur, but let's be real here. It's gonna devolve into
We're
fighting
gonna
games.
run a couple different things. Yeah.
Mainly
so,
because I not only wanted to talk about Soul Calibur, I wanted to talk about a series that I completely forgot about, which is Samurai Showdown.
Oh.
Actually, my friend just told me recently. I watched a video on it, and then I texted him about it, and he's an Xbox fan, and I didn't know they had a Samurai Showdown.
Samurai Showdown Sen.
It looked really cool.
No, it was not.
But it also looks really, really gross.
It was not cool.
Like, the graphics look really cool, but there's no color. It looks... You know what? It looks like... It's like eating a cracker. Okay? Dry as fuck, but at least you ate something.
Okay. That's an
It's not
comparison.
worthwhile.
Yeah.
You could eat anything better, but at least it's there.
So, years and years ago, my grandfather took me and my brother and my little sister out, and this is in San Francisco. We went to the Cliff House. Now, in those days, the Cliff House, underneath it was an arcade, and he gave us some money. He's like, hey, go play whatever game you want, you know. My brother and I, we looked at the whole place, and we saw Samurai Showdown 2, and that game was like, fucking play us, motherfuckers. So we went over there, and it was a fucking religious experience. It was fucking awesome. I remember my brother picked a dude named Wan Fu, who's just like, you know, he's like a basic Chinese martial artist. He's going to fight you with a big fucking stone club.
Yeah.
Which is badass. And then I, of course, gravitated toward the little cat girl, Cham Cham. Fights with a fucking boomerang. And it was just such a cool experience. The characters were all like super bright. Like, it honestly felt like you couldn't make a wrong selection on the character select screen. Every character looked cool. You know, there wasn't like that. No. Whenever I think of like kind of characters look wise, I always think of E Honda from Street Fighter 2. Now, E Honda is one of my favorite characters in Street Fighter. He's a great character, just kind of boring to look at. You know, gameplay wise, he does some really cool shit. You know, and you're not gonna see many guys fly, you know, 40 feet, headbutt you in the stomach. It's just that like he's like a fat dude in a towel. You're like, cool, you know. But there was no character like that in Samurai Shodown. You had there was Charlotte the fencer, Haomaru the samurai. You had Genon, who's this crazy ass goblin thing with this gigantic claw that he fights you with. This every character was like, holy shit, you know. So it was just a really cool experience. So it coming back was just like all those feelings were like, yeah, you know.
Damn, yeah. The thing is, I'm very surprised, actually, that Samurai Shodown's coming back.
Me too. I thought it was going to be Fatal Fury or something.
See,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I shouldn't be surprised due to the fact that Nintendo's eShop is littered with those, you know, and they've been pushing Samurai Shodown like crazy. And I feel like, one, we wouldn't have seen this game if it wasn't for that kind of thing.
Yeah, looking back, I realized they have been, like, you know, they re-released 5, they re-released 6, I think they did 3 and 4 as a collection, so it's like, they've been pushing it, and it just, like, for some reason, I didn't notice that was the game they were really pushing. It's like, oh, that's Fatal Fury, but that was also Samurai Shodown. Oh, we have King of Fighters. And there's Samurai Shodown.
I think the thing that's great, though, is that Soul Calibur's coming out this year, and I think Samurai Showdown's coming out next year.
Next year, yeah.
I think the great thing about that is that they're both weapon-based fighters, so, like, one of your friends that's into 2D games will be like, yo, there's one, like, it's just gonna have that crossplay, I think.
Well, and
not crossplay, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I said that exactly
It's like
wrong.
synergy.
Yeah.
A lot of things in Soul Calibur were really inspired by Samurai Shodown. That's what's great about it, you know? It's like, here's the kid, oh, here's the father too, you know? Like, it's great to see them, because I can't remember the last time there was a Samurai Shodown with this high profile. Like, it's like, here's Samurai Shodown, it's like, oh my god, it's Samurai Shodown!
Yeah.
You know? So, okay, you look at Haomaru in Samurai Shodown, and you look at Mitsurugi, not so much in Soul Blade, but in Soul Calibur. Holy shit.
Actually, I think I told you about this, is that for the longest time, I went to an arcade, and I thought they were the same damn character.
Oh, they didn't tell me that. Really?
Oh, I thought I did. I could have swore I did. No, I went to an arcade, and I thought it was Mitsurugi. I thought they were the same damn character. For the longest time.
Well, they had the same double uppercut. Like that double uppercut that Mitsurugi got in Soul Calibur is from Harumaru. Harumaru has always had that double uppercut.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
I thought
just
they were
cool.
the same damn character. I just like, oh, the Soul Calibur was 2D at first.
Yeah.
And then my friend's like, no, you dumbass, they're different games. 2 different companies.
That's okay.
So.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like an SNK, like King of Fighters and Street Fighter. If they came out in the same year, it's one of those, if you get one, you're probably, if you have a friend that likes another fighting game, you're probably going to get the other one. And I feel like it's great to see that come.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
In other words, I'm going to just rip this one wide open. Fucking Soul Calibur, though.
Yeah, man.
Like,
holy shit.
Because before this, we were talking about it, and you're like, but you're more into Spider-Man. And I'm like, yeah, Spider-Man, there's always going to be a Spider-Man game. There's always going to be a superhero game that comes out. But Soul Calibur is a fucking event. It's that event that you like skip work, even though I'm not going to. You fucking skip work. You like you have a date. Not today. No, fuck that. Because Soul Calibur is an event.
It is, absolutely.
I remember Soul Calibur 4. You know, I think that's the one with Yoda and shit. I remember that one being an event. I remember 3 being an event though. I actually, you know, skipped school for that one. Grandma encouraged me on that one.
Yeah.
And I didn't do 5 actually.
Yeah.
But 4, I remember right after school, I got a haircut, and then in the magazine, it wasn't even a Game Informer. It was New Soul Calibur, had Star Wars, and this one guy, my guy that was cutting my hair, is like, you know what is up with that? Whole haircut, nothing but Soul Calibur. Nothing but Soul Calibur. I convinced this guy to buy it.
That's awesome.
And it's because, like, I don't know. I feel like Soul Calibur is one of those games that maybe because I'm so nostalgic with it, I already told you the story of I wasn't allowed to play any other game on the Dreamcast until I beat my cousin. But Soul Calibur is a game that is just fucking poetry in motion when it comes to fighting games. At least that's how I feel.
No, that's exactly how I feel. I think it's one of my absolute top 5 video games is Soul Calibur. Now, for me, so we started with Soul Blade or Soul Edge back in the arcades, you know, and I remember when my friends played it, and I was like, "Oh, it looks pretty cool," and then I went to go play it too, and I was like, "Who do I want to play?" And I remember the big knight dude looked cool. Like, oh, you know, it looks like he. Same kind of knight as Charlotte is in Samurai Showdown. Siegfried, yeah. So it's like Charlotte from Samurai Showdown. Cool, I'm gonna play this guy because I used to love playing Charlotte, you know. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll play this knight dude. And I remember he had one attack. You just pressed the B button, which is the triangle button on the PlayStation. You press it 3 times. He does 2 down chops and then up chop. And I remember blazing through the entire arcade run with him. And I'm like, this is my favorite character. And to this day, Siegfried is still my absolute favorite character.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you gotta go. You gotta speak.
Okay, so with me, I guess since we're sharing our nostalgia for Soul Calibur, it's like my aunt and uncle, and then one of my aunts, they had a duplex where my one aunt and uncle lived on the bottom, the other aunt lived on the top floor. And when we would have parties and stuff, like, you know, there would be a point where like all the other kids had gone home, and like me and my brother were just waiting for our parents to be done. And my aunt was like, my aunt would go, here, you guys can come upstairs and play video games, because she had a son who had a couple consoles. So I remember that there were only 2 games we ever really played up there. One was Mario Kart for the SNES, and then the other was Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur 2?
I don't remember which one.
Did it have Spawn?
I don't think so. Okay. I don't remember.
Well, better question. What was it on?
I think it was on Xbox.
Then it was 2.
It was 2?
Yeah, I don't think any other Soul Calibur came out for it.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It was Spawn, because Spawn was in that, because I remember spamming, like, his character lines in the gallery. But
man, what's up with this black Spider-Man? What is he doing in this game?
What's this dude? But no. And then my brother and I would rent Soul Calibur 3 and play it for the GameCube.
2.
No, because we had Link.
No, 3. Yeah, 2.
It was 2?
3 is only for the PS2.
2, oh, okay.
Yeah, each version of 2 had a different per console. Yeah, Heihachi was PlayStation.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool. I can see where that comes from.
No, yeah, so we would play that because that was when me and my brother both were crazy about The Legend of Zelda. So my brother always played
I'll get into
Link.
that.
But no, so it was this whole thing. My favorite character was Yoshimitsu. I loved Yoshimitsu.
Because he's baller.
Yeah, and then I also really, really liked playing as Cassandra and Talim. And my brother, since I mentioned him, he would play as Link, Mitsurugi, and Taki a lot. That was always really fun. But no, yeah. So I'm excited about this.
Oh hell yeah! The thing about me with my game start is I only got into Nightmare because I loved being a douche in Soul Calibur 2. Because Nightmare has so many shits where you can knock people out.
Oh yeah,
and that's what I love to do. I love to get people to the edge and just fucking knock them out. That was my whole thing, and I even got banned from playing as Nightmare. And little do they know, there's other characters that do that too.
Yep, Astaroth is...
But that was, Astaroth was that.
Oh, yeah.
That was my whole deal. And the thing about Soul Calibur, though, is that I think the love for the series here is pretty strong, because I remember even texting you like, who the fuck is this character from Soul Calibur 2? It was, what's his name he was the Todd McFarlane.
Oh, Necrid, yeah.
Who the fuck is Necrid?
Who was Necrid? I got that text, and I was laughing so hard. There was nothing else. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And Chris, what's going on? And it's just, who the fuck is Necrid? I'm like, oh my god, like... Honestly, like, I dropped my phone, I was laughing so damn much.
No, because me and Chris, we had gotten Soul Calibur, everything 2. We had 2 for the PlayStation. We were playing it, and we finally unlocked Necrid. We're like,
no, he was just there.
No, yeah, we were playing. Chris was playing arcade mode,
yeah.
and I'm watching. And he's like, who the fuck is Necrid? And I'm like, I don't know.
He looks like a fucking old, like, He-Man villain.
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't look fucking, like he belongs there.
Or like the cousin of like a Skrull or something,
like,
you know?
Well, maybe he'll have a cool voice and he'll explain who he is, and you pick him and he's like,
He's the fuck is this? Sounds like one of those, people that smoked way too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking like, this fucking neck speaker shit.
Like, you see him in, like, the new Soul Calibur, if he's a DLC character, just, I remember back when I was in 2.
Yeah. I will say this right now, Namco, hope you're listening, don't put that motherfucker back in the game.
Yeah, put Link there instead.
Yeah. Anybody...
Dude, Heihachi would be baller.
Yeah, only because I'm gonna just say, I think it would be great to have Heihachi in the game again. Because of Tekken 7, I would like to see Heihachi.
So play Tekken 7.
Yeah, so play Tekken 7. Yeah, or watch a story mode of it. I don't care.
I'd like to keep a sponsorship if we ever get one to play. But
but yeah, we're talking about fighting games. Yeah, Tekken 7 is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So I saw a tweet someone put up, and it broke my heart a little bit because it had in the new Tekken 7 you have Geese Howard, the boss of Fatal Fury, and Akuma, one of the main antagonists from Street Fighter. In this game,
antagonist.
And there's a picture and it shows them together, and it says, if you told me that, if you showed me this picture 10 years ago and told me this wasn't Capcom vs. SNK3, I would have called you a liar. And I'm just like, oh man, I wish. Maybe someday Capcom and SNK will team up again.
That'd be baller.
Yeah.
That would be.
So, the thing that's really cool about Soul Calibur, sorry for going back straight up to Soul Calibur.
Yeah, how dare you.
But the thing that's really fucking cool about it, though, right, is all the fucking reveal trailers. It's like smash up in this bitch, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I actually had a friend that I was speaking with about it. He's like, well, there's just characters that you know. No. No, you don't fucking know they'll be in the game. There's nothing fucking guaranteed.
Yep.
The thing is, you take that for granted in fighting games. Some characters just don't fucking... Like, Street Fighter 3...
Yep, that was a
new roster, dude.
Huge shakeup. Like, who's gonna be in it? I can't really see what guy looks like. Nah. Okay, what's Chun-Li gonna look like? Nah. Okay, well I know Zangief's in it.
Wasn't Chun-Li in 3? I think
in Third Strike, yeah, but the original
Third Strike, okay.
Original Street Fighter 3, all you had was Ryu and Ken. And even then, like, they were put in pretty late into production. It was just supposed to be Shawn in the game.
Yeah.
There was no Ryu and Ken.
I do
they were like,
that, yeah.
hey, if we don't put Ryu and Ken, this isn't going to sell. So they eventually put the fuckers back in the game. So, as crazy as that is, we almost had a Street Fighter game with nobody returning.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is that, like, I feel like I'm prepared for that. Not that to happen, just I'm prepared for, like, that idea. But it's still crazy, because I think not Street Fighter 5, Soul Calibur 5's the reason why I didn't buy it is because I heard so many characters didn't return.
I think that's also why the reveal trailers for the new one are so hyped, is because 5, so many characters were missing. Like, it was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Also, another thing about the reveal trailers, though, is they're not just, like, not to shit on Smash, they're not like Smash where it's just, oh, it's the character. Fuck that. They don't fuck around in these trailers. They show you what they do. They show you how it... Okay, they show you what it's supposed to sometimes look like.
Yeah, they show you what the character's strengths are.
Yes, and holy fuck does that look good.
Yeah, he's like, here's Astaroth. Okay, what does Astaroth do? He fucking smashes you to fucking bits with an axe, and also just his big-ass fist. He throws you, smashes you, bounces you off fucking walls, like, okay, what does Raphael do? He's a rapier dude. Man, that motherfucker just fucking pokes you, like... What's interesting about his fighting style is that it's not exactly based on like classic fencing. It's actually based on the Mask of Zorro, the Antonio Banderas movie. So the producers saw that movie, loved it so much they based Raphael exactly on Zorro. So
in the fighting style,
so it's more than like, I mean, there's some stuff that's like from the classic fencing, but a lot of it's just from that stupid movie, So Not stupid movie. I actually love that movie.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
not stupid movie. But it's just interesting to find that out. It's like, oh, that's really cool, you know. And there's even I didn't realize this till just recently, but he has a throw he does off of one of his attacks, and all this time I was just cutting you, and then I realized he's doing the Zoro Z slash
Yeah.
on you, and I'm just like, I love this damn character, you know. So,
But like,
it's just cool.
it's just really cool to see all these characters returning.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ, it looks fucking great.
It looks great.
And
It really does.
I'm not gonna skip on buying this one. I'm gonna fucking buy this one.
Yep, that's day one.
Yeah, I don't know about day
Yeah.
one for me, but I know for sure I'm gonna pick it up, mainly because I am going to be busy those days. So
Yes, you are.
So here's the thing, though. Who do you? I know that they've announced a lot of characters.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna open up and say this one. I want to fucking see Rock.
Well, I feel like everyone from the first game is in it. With like I think, but they haven't shown Rock. There's no Wong, and there's no Edgemaster. Now, Lizard Man is in the game, kinda, but not like the classic Lizard Man we're all used to. He's like
Yeah.
just a creative character type character. So it's like those are just major characters that are missing from the game. Now, with Wong, he wasn't in any games past the first Soul Calibur. He was an edit character in Soul Calibur 3. I don't really count that. But then Rock was only really missing in Soul Calibur 2 and 5. But all the main games he's been in, so I feel like there's a good chance we'll see them down the road. Maybe not. I know there's the season pass out right now. Maybe not the first season, but if the game does well, maybe we'll see them a little later, like they did with Anna and Lei with Tekken 7. The season 2 brought those guys back in, which I still think is a fucking crime they weren't in the game to begin with. Like those are like, you know, so.
So that's pretty much our show, actually. I feel like we're going to come back. I feel like Soul Calibur is definitely come back. So if you feel like we missed something in any of these topics, leave it in the comments. But let's be real here. All these topics will probably come back somewhat since they are relevant news. Soul Calibur is going to be coming back, actually.
Yeah.
I know that's
about
for
a month.
sure.
About a month.
Yeah. So yeah. Even, you know, so yeah. So this, that's it.
Yes. Thanks for listening to Blast of the Past podcast.
Chillcast.
everybody. Yeah, the Chillcast edition. So, you guys, thanks a lot.
Why is it the chill cast?
Oh,
it's
because
supposed
we
to
have
be
other
nice.
forms of cast. We have like the review cast, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is the chill cast. It's just the chiller version of it.
Okay,
So,
I'm down. I like it. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening.
yep. So what's up with the channel right now? We got to plug ourselves on this one for people that don't watch other stuff.
Okay.
Oh,
Go check out Expansion Pack.
there
our
we
Let's
go.
Play.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, our Let's Play, where the three of us play games.
Yeah. Sonic, and then also Sonic.
Yeah, and Mega Man at the Mega Man,
And then also Sonic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's a good time. So it's like, and then you can also, and you can also check out Chris and my videos at where Chris is going to be doing Nostalgia Goggles, and I've got my show Out of Ink where I talk about comics. So
That's pretty much it right now at the moment.
yep, and we got a lot of plans for you guys for our channel and all our shows. So you guys stick around. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.